Welcome to part 1 of the Art Style Challenge. I'm Taylor Baldwin and I'm a technical artist at the Digital Future Lab. For this video, I will be using prompts from two cups. The first is the art style to draw in, and the second is the character that I will be drawing. I will be using graphite pencils, ink pens, a kneaded eraser, and a mechanical pencil. Alright, the first art style will be Steven Universe, and the character will be Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy. First I get the references, I already have them ready on my phone. I start out with basic shapes and light pencil. I like to start out with a few very large basic shapes and light pencil, and then work down to more detail and darker pencil so that I don't focus too much on one particular part of the character and then have it not fit in with the rest of the character later on. So I'm starting out with the head, drawing the eyes in. The original art style of Ed, Edd n Eddy is very loose and scribbly, but the art style for Steven Universe has a lot of smooth and bold lines, so I'm kind of combining the two. I have the mouth look like the mouth from Steven Universe with the vertical lines. It's a very distinctive smile, and very big round eyes and thick eyebrows like Steven. Then I'm drawing the rest of the body. I'm drawing the body in the shape of the original Ed character with a big triangle that has a lot more torso and a lot of short leg. Very out of proportion, but that's part of the art style. And at this point I'm redrawing the eyes so I make sure I get it just right. And checking my references. Now we skip ahead and I'm inking in the final pencil lines with my pens. I'm making the width of the ink different at different parts. I'm making the outline, the overall outline of the character thicker than the details, like in the face. And skipping ahead again to when the ink is dry, I start erasing the original pencil lines so you just have sharp pen. And I fill in some of the spaces that are darker to add a little more detail. And now I'm using another kind of marker, a Prismacolor thick marker that is 50% gray, so it adds a little more depth and variety to the picture. Unfortunately, I didn't use any color because I didn't have enough colors to go into too much detail with that. Now the next character I'll be drawing is Peter Pan, and the art style will be Scott Pilgrim. Now I have my reference. I'm starting out with basic shapes and light pencil. I'm working from the top down to the bottom. I found this a really interesting and fun challenge because I really enjoyed the art style of Scott Pilgrim, the comics by Brian Lee O'Malley. It has a lot of very expressive art in it, lots of thick lines and pen, in ink at least, either pen or brush. I'm starting out by looking at the way that Peter Pan was drawn. Pretty similar proportions going on here. Now I'm working on the face. The face will be a little bit of the style from Scott Pilgrim. You can see, zoom in here. I have the same oval eyes and really big pupils, and a very small mark to show the nose. Some artists like to accentuate the nose, others try to make it just a very small mark. It kind of depends on the art style. Then I'm adding in pointed ears to refer back to the original character, and drawing in the grin. You can see the mouth here looks a little different than, say, the one with Ed, because there are horizontal lines. Now I'm working on the arms. The arms were a difficult part to do. Hands in general tend to be pretty difficult to draw. There's something about hands and faces that people are very sensitive to whether it looks realistic or not, so there's a lot of pressure on artists to make it look just like it's supposed to look in real life. And when you have arms that are folding in on each other like that, you have to make sure they make sense in space. Now I'm getting out the pen and I'm starting to ink in the final pencil lines. Here I'm using very bold lines all around to make it very expressive. If I wanted it to look a little more soft, I would use thinner lines. I'm also having bold lines around the outline of the character and small thinner lines on the details. That's a common practice when inking. I've switched out my pens and I have a finer pen to work out some of those fine details where I need to get it very precise. Sometimes it's also good to start with a thinner pen line and then make it thicker later on, so in case I make any mistakes, it's a little easier to join it in with the rest of the ink and kind of make it disappear. Now I'm using the eraser to get rid of some of the lines. I'm pressing down a little on the eraser directly down and not pulling it across so that I keep the pencil from lifting up and keep the ink from smudging. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please check out some of our other videos, like and subscribe. Soon we'll be posting part 2 of this series and you'll see the rest of the pictures I've made.